And one thing, too, to note is that Post only 10 turnovers on Friday during the victory, whereas today 22. So a great job from head coach Mary Grimes' defense to force some fantastic turnovers. As we have head coach Mary Grimes with us now here in the post-game show.
Woo.
Coach, you had the first word right there. Takeaways from this game. What are your thoughts, feelings right now?
We're such a quote-unquote young team, and, games are won in the fourth quarter. And, last game we took it over. And this game today, we really stepped it up in the fourth quarter when we really needed it. But, that's a tough Post team. They were shooting lights out, getting on the boards. And, we had to fight. We had to fight, and we had to overcome some adversity, which we talked about at halftime. And, it was just a gritty win.
Well, your teams have always seemed to make adjustments at halftime, and they always seem to reflect your personality, which is you don't panic, right? You just you look at what's happening, you make adjustments, and we thought the biggest adjustment in the game when you went to the full court press, forcing turnovers, and even when you weren't forcing turnovers, you had picked up the speed of the game, and it didn't look like Post was comfortable with that at all.
Yeah, I try not to panic so they don't panic, but, I usually just go off of them, you know what I mean? Like, I think right before we started pressing, I told Kaya to just push up a little bit because that's what she's good at, and we adjusted to a press in the second half because Kaya wanted to press, and I said, okay, but I was concerned. We just played Friday, we're playing back-to-back pretty much, and so I was concerned about our legs, but when they have the heart and the desire to do it, I just roll with them, and that's what we did today.
Coach, LaToya Baker was up and down the floor. She was breathing very heavily by the time the game was over. 13 rebounds, 7 points. Talk about her performance today.
She just leads in so many ways, not just on the court. She's talking to her teammates about how they got to box out and rebound and plays that we're running. And, she's a catalyst for our team, on the board. So she just is really, really solid. And, that's what we expect from her. And so when she brings it, everybody else can bring it too.
So what personifies her in this game was the fast break when the layup rolled off the rim. So she sprinted all the way down the court and just missed the layup, but got all the way back down to get the defensive rebound on the very quick shot by Post. She puts in a lot of frequent flyer miles going back and forth on this court, and yet never stops hustling.
No. And that's just, a testament to her personality and her drive and her will to win, At the end of the day, it didn't matter whether she made it or missed it. She had to hustle back anyway. So, it's it's just part of who she is.
Hayden Roberts with another double-double. She has really been crucial for you guys early on in this season. Coming off the bench a year ago, what changes have you seen from last season to this season in your forward down low?
She's just taken ownership of her position. She's down there battling every day. I think she had it in her last year, but, we had so many seniors on our team and so many posts that, we only saw glimpses of it. So it's really cool to see that she's being consistent down low for us. And even outside, she's hitting some jumpers and hitting her free throws. So, she knows that's her expectation, and she's embracing that role.
So thoughts coming out of this game? You have a little bit more rest, but on Wednesday you got a road trip out to Damon to play a pretty good team out there.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be like the two teams we've played combined. Damon's really, really physical. They're tough, just like Lake Erie. They rebound the ball, and they change up their defenses like we've seen the past two games. So we're excited to get on the road and, just play our game again.
Well, it certainly has been not a surprise to us that have seen this team in practice and know what these players can do, but they're already exceeding expectations. There's something, you got a lot of freshmen, a lot of new, you mentioned young team, right?
Yeah.
But mentally they don't seem that young.
No, I think I talked about it in one of my interviews, is a lot of these players have been in this position before, as far as winning state championships, going really far in the playoffs, so they understand the moment, and I think they approach every game like it's a championship. Even today, like Kaya made some huge plays down the stretch, offensively and defensively, so she understands. She did not lose a lot in high school, so I told her to bring all that with her, and same thing with Toya across the board. So they have that experience because they've logged a lot of minutes in high school and AAU.
Staying on the topic, too, of young players, but also a very small roster. You had 11 to start, but with the injury to Abdulaziz down to just 10, what type of impact does that make in coaching decisions when it comes to who you're throwing out onto the court to play during a long game?
You know, it's funny. I'm still trying to figure it out, because a lot of times Kaya and Sydney are on the floor at the same times, and they're both great point guards, but at times Sydney has to play the 4. So it just involves me getting really creative in how I sub. We're looking forward to getting Sai back whenever she's ready. But in the meantime, I think she's doing a good job being a great leader, talking to her teammates, and, and they're holding down the fort for her.
So does Sydney Lusher get a mulligan for that 3-second call because she's not used to being down there very often?
I mean, it was just a tough one there. I think her heels were in the paint there. So we'll give her a pass on that one.
She's probably like, well, I'm not down here very often.
Yeah. She kind of looked down like, this isn't the 3-point line.
We saw the look on her face.
Yeah. So.
Well, a fantastic win. Really gutted out. A lot of runs back and forth. But, again, your team never seems to panic. They just go back to executing. And they executed when it mattered most. As you mentioned, you win the game in the fourth quarter.
Yes. Thank you, guys. Thanks for being here. And
Thank
as always,
you so much.
fins up.
Fins up. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it. Congrats on the win.
Oh, so let's see if we can get someone to. Kaya Good's going to join us, which is good. That's right. There's too many puns you can make with Kaya's last name.
Come on over. I'll give you some room.
So, Kaya, we've been thinking here, there's so many different things we can do with your last name. That's such a good play, right? We want to change your last name to Excellent because that's the way you've been playing and that's the way this team has been playing. Can you talk a little bit about what it's been like to close out on these first 2 games in your college career and walk away with wins?
Honestly, it's been amazing to see us persevere through all the adversity that we've come across each game. Being down, we just know we have to make our way back up top. We have to finish our baskets, we have to play good on defense, and we have to pull through each game. So we want to have a winning season, so it takes each game. We have to win each game.
Well, it's a good start when you start 2-0. And, Lake Erie last year, 2 wins. They brought back 6 seniors, and Sydney Weingarten obviously is a fantastic player. With a new coach, hard to know what to expect. And Joanna Dabrowski kept telling us we weren't even sure how to prepare for them because we didn't know anything about them. This post team a little different, though. They've been very good for a few years. You knew what you were walking into. What was the strategy going into this game to slow them down?
Our strategy was basically knowing our personnel, making sure we know what everybody else is doing, and then we have to bring our A game to the game as well.
It seemed like in that second half, too, you guys really took apart that 2-3 defense with great cuts, great passes. What went into the communication that led to your guys' success in that second half?
Well, individually, we had to lock in. We had to communicate with each other. We had to make sure we're moving, talking, and making sure nobody's open on offense for them.
And when it comes to not just how good you played, but also one of your teammates, LaToya Baker, with her 13 rebounds up and down the court, just talk a little bit about the game that she had today.
Honestly, I think she played amazing. Some of her shots weren't falling in the beginning, but I kept telling her, keep shooting, keep shooting, keep shooting. You get rebounds, it's going to fall.
And Coach also mentioned that you win in the fourth quarter. That first half looked like a different team than that second half. What was the mental switch that it took to go, look, we can beat this team, we can take down post?
Honestly, the mental switch was that we got to win this game. We were down. We just had to lock in and focus on everything that was not working out for us in the beginning of the game.
It seemed like when you went to the full court press, you sped up the game. Now, it turned into a bunch of turnovers, which helped as well. But even when Post was able to break the pressure, they were no longer comfortable offensively. They weren't being patient against your zone. Just that little flip of a switch. Your coach told us that she kind of did that because that's kind of what you wanted to do. And that's one of the things that you bring from high school, one of the strengths of your game. And she said she kind of feeds off the players. So you're like, Coach,
Yeah.
let's press.
Yeah, after the second, going into the second half, I pulled Toya aside. She's our captain. I was like, we got to press. I know
And
we
your
can press.
cuz, right?
Yeah, she's my cousin as well. I told her we have to press. They can't handle the ball. If we press, we can get a run on them. And then she told Coach, and she was like, okay, we're going to play your game. If you want to step up, step up. And then if they score, we're all going to step up.
Well, first I got to say that's a sign of a great coach that knows when their players know what they're doing well and what feels good to you on the court. As you notice, they weren't handling the ball very well. You forced 22 turnovers in this game, 18 points off those turnovers, a big reason why you came away with the win.
I'm just very curious because you just don't look like a freshman out there. You look like a seasoned veteran that's been playing in the college level for 4 years and maybe even a graduate student basically. But how do you come in and just look like you own the place being a freshman fresh out of high school?
Thank you. Honestly, coming from a team in high school that we're sectional champions, we were state champions. I've been around a lot of successful players, and like 6 of our players in high school went D1. So I've been always following up and just working on my game and making sure that I imitate what they do.
Well, it's been really working for you, especially today and early on in this season, too.
Thank you.
So, Kaya, with your 14 points, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, fantastic defense in this game, you are our Wegman star of the game. Order delicious, freshly prepared meals to go, whether by delivery, carry-out, or curbside pickup. Enjoy meals to go only at Wegmans. And
Thank you.
And we get the feeling we'll be talking to even more this season, which is a good thing because it means we'll be winning a lot of games. Fantastic start to the season. Get ready to go on the road.
Thank you. We're definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, that headset's going to say Kaya Good because you're going to be over here so much. We're just going to have to put a label on it for the next few.
Well, once again, thank you for joining us and congratulations on the win.
Thank you.